Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, you guys. Um, Here we are. Oh, look, how do I go back? There we go. I have a reading that I want to do this morning that I'm going to do this morning that came to me from a friend. And for many years, I have read lots of what Osho wrote, and I spent a lot of time with many years with a friend, Paul Lowe, and Paul had spent 15 or so years with Osho, and Osho, even though Osho was a bit of a, he was certainly a shit disturber. He, he had such wisdom, and often shit disturbers do have wisdom, and often we're not happy with what they have to say, because it disturbs the status quo, right? We like it in our dream. We like it in our illusion. So this writing came to me recently, in the last day or so, and it was a writing from Osho, and I thought, wow, this morning I'll read it because it so speaks to what I see happening in the world in many places, and he was asked a question about 40 years ago, how to avoid the pandemic. And at the time, the epidemic, which had not really become a pandemic, but was AIDS, and people were afraid, and and there was there was fear in the air, and there had been in our time, in our recorded history, there's been many pandemics, and anybody who has the time to read about how we reacted in those different times can see how it's happening to us now, what's going on. So it's interesting that what Osho had to say. So here it is. Good Sunday morning, by the way. And I'm just going to read this, and hopefully it has something for you. It says, the question was asked to Osho about 40 years ago during the AIDS period. And he said, the question was, how do I avoid the pandemic? And you're asking the wrong question, Osho replied. The right question should be how to avoid the fear of dying caused by the epidemic or pandemic. Because it is very easy to avoid the virus. It is very difficult to avoid the fear in you and in the world. People will die more from this fear than from the epidemic or pandemic. Understand this fear. Otherwise, you will become a dead body before your body dies. It has nothing to do with the virus. The scary atmosphere you feel in these moments is collective madness. It has happened 1,000 times and will continue to happen. It will continue if you don't understand the psychology of crowds and fear. You usually keep fear at bay, but in the moment of collective madness, the consciousness can be completely lost. Your consciousness can be completely lost. You won't even know when you lost control of your fear. Then fear can make you do anything. In such a situation, you can also take your own life or the lives of others. So much will happen in the coming times. Many people will kill themselves, and many people will kill more. Attention, be mindful. Don't watch news that trigger fear. Stop talking about the epidemic, repeating the same thing over and over again. It's like self-hypnosis. Fear is a kind of self-hypnosis. This idea will cause chemical change in the body. If you repeat the same idea over and over again, a chemical change is triggered that can sometimes be so toxic that it can kill you. During an epidemic, energy around the world becomes irrational. This way, you can fall into a black hole anytime. Meditation then becomes a protective aura into which no negative energy can penetrate. So Osho's words, and what I just I'm going to say about fear is that fear can be, if we see it, if we're not lost in it, fear can be the gateway to awakening. It really can. It can be like, oh, I see myself, and we see ourselves through fear. So when fear comes up about anything, but certainly if we're watching around us, when people are talking about this whole thing that's going on right now, just say, hey, relax. I'm not suggesting that we don't be practical or that we're not taking precautions. I'm not suggesting that at all. Just relax on the fear. Fear creates more fear. And fear brings about the thing we don't want to have happen. Fear brings about the thing we don't want to have happen, so that we're afraid of. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Now I'm going to read a little bit from this book. Thanks, you guys. Here we go. It's just a little bit from this book. August 17th, thought for the day. To one who feels he is an atheist or an agnostic, a spiritual experience seems impossible. But to continue as he is means disaster. To be doomed to an alcoholic death or to live on a spiritual basis, not always an easy alternative to face. But we have to face the fact that we must find a spiritual basis of life, or else. Lack of power is our dilemma. We have to find a power by which we can live, and it has to be a power greater than ourselves. And that power, by the way, greater than ourselves, is greater than the power of fear. Right? It's greater than the power of fear. Yes. Meditation for the day. Sunshine is the laughter of nature. Life, live out in the sunshine. Live out in the sunshine. The sun and the air are good medicine. Nature is a good nurse for tired bodies. Let her have her way with you. God's grace is like the sunshine. Let your whole being be enwrapped in the divine spirit. Faith is the soul's breathing in of the divine spirit. It makes glad the heart of men. The divine spirit heals and cures the mind. Let it have its way with you, and all will be well. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may live in the sunshine of God's Spirit. I pray that my life and my soul will be energized by it. Yes. All right. Short one this morning. So just recognize that fear can creep in, and as the news already starts or continues to talk about doom and gloom in the future, just let it go. Let it go. There is no future. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. Be here now. Nothing is missing. Everything is perfect in this moment. And that's all we have. This is it. Right now. No tomorrow. Always the fear mongers are talking about the future, baby. It's bullshit. It's not true. So don't buy it. Just breathe. Be present. Be grateful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Love you so much. Cheers. Bye.